It's your boy Tony G and Big Lou on KM Radio, where we go ham on the sports book every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. We're covering gambling, we're covering a little bit of college, got lots of pros to talk about. Heck of a weekend. Had a good time, me and Lou, down there at the Horseshoes Sports Book. Got to watch a bunch of games. College was a little crazy, too. There was a couple games to pay a little bit of attention to when it comes to the over. Oklahoma only winning by 2. UCF. That's where those big overs. That's where that and the big point spread.
Yes, sir.
Washington, which I really thought was going to crush Arizona, won 15-7. I think the spread on that was 25 or something.
Mhm.
Ohio State beat Penn by 8. Just crazy how those spreads. Like I keep telling you guys, man. Me and Lou keep telling you, pinpoint your games.
Mhm.
Don't be all over the board. Keep it simple, and kind of go
Right.
from there. That's the best thing I can tell y'all. If you're trying to be profitable in this, in this gambling and this sports betting, it's the best way to be. Pinpoint your games, go over your stats. And as we learned this weekend in the pros, sometimes the stats just don't make a difference, do they, Lou?
No, they don't, because it depends on which team is showing up on that Saturday. Kind of like the USC Utah game is a perfect example of that. Regardless of how high caliber of a program the USC is, it seems like Utah always have their number. But they play tough, and they're playing pretty good. They've been playing pretty good the last few seasons. But I did watch that game, and it just sucked the life out of that whole stadium with that win.
Right? It's
So
definitely
I agree.
crazy. You just never know. You never know what team is showing up. I'm trying to pull up my. There we go. There we go. We got her. We got her. We got her. Oh, she's gonna give me a. Try to pull up our. I'm gonna work on that. All right, let's go
Mhm.
to NFL. We'll jump into NFL. Cover some games. Crazy week. All right.
Yeah, crazy week.
So our Thursday night game was your Saints and the Jaguars. Tell me your thoughts. What'd you see that you liked? What'd you see that you didn't?
Um, what I do like is I like the defense. The defense shows up. They're pretty good defense. Offense lacks creativity in the red zone. It seems like we can make the plays up into the red zone, then it falls flat. And you can't win in the playoffs, and you can't go far in the playoffs if you don't have some type of red zone efficiency. And we don't have that. Other than that, everything's okay. The quarterback Derek Carr was doing a little bit of emotional. Yeah, he was a little emotional on the field, but he addressed it in the press conference. So I give him credit for that. But I am nowhere near satisfied with the offensive production. You know, on this team, that's got to change. If it's too much talent there, and for it to be lacking the creativity, and of course, yes, Carney stepping up too. He's got to be more consistent. He's got to control his emotion.
Well, what I saw up until up until the last quarter was a pathetic Saints offense
Right.
before the fourth quarter. Now, when the fourth quarter came, I said, "Oh, we are starting to put it together." It was just too too little, too late. I mean, Carr had 300 yards plus. He had an interception. Um, the running game was okay, but it was too little, too late. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just was. Um, but they made a game out of it at the end. Almost looked like they could pull it off, but they didn't. But yes, I agree with you. They going forward and talking about, you know, taking them, betting with them is definitely a question mark of inconsistency. But we're
Right.
starting. One thing about this season that we're seeing. Hats off to the Jaguars. Jaguars are second strongest team in the AFC. AFC to me right now. I really think it's Kansas City, and there's a fight between Miami and Jaguars for number 2.
Okay.
I mean, no, and there's no. I mean, the Jaguars they play. I mean, they're playing well. Next game was the Bears and the Raiders. I had the over. I did win on this one. The Raiders, they're calling for everybody to get fired at the Raiders. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I just don't know.
So from top down, there needs to be a total reset. For the staff, for the staff hirings, all the way down to the quarterback. All the team. I'm just not going to put it on the quarterback. The whole team is terrible. Now, most of the time, I give a coach that's coming into that the benefit of the doubt because, he knows what he's coming into. But on this one, I just don't see where all this love is coming from, and everywhere he goes outside of New England has been, a dumpster fire.
It has. They got a couple coaches from New England. It's kind of I really thought Jimmy G was going to do good. He got hurt. I thought it was going to be, and like I said, I wouldn't expect them to be 14-3 or anything, but I was expecting a little bit better than 3-4 where they're at.
Right.
And the Bears, I mean, I give them credit. They won. Tyson
they
Baguette.
showed up. Yeah, they showed up. They showed up to the game today, or Sunday rather.
Yeah, I can't say. I mean, they won that. Like I said, I took the over. The Browns and the Colts. This was I wasn't
Interesting
expecting
game.
the Colts. Yeah, it was. It was very good. We watched it. Took the Browns on 2.5. Lost that. But the Browns have a good team.
Yeah.
But Gardner Minshew, how about him throwing? He had an
Gardner
interception.
Minshew.
Yeah, he threw for 305 yards. I mean,
played his heart out.
Played his heart out. Just couldn't put it.
Couldn't put the
it
dub
in.
on it. Yeah, couldn't put the dub at the end.
Like I said, this spread was 2.5, or that's what I got it at 2.5. I think it was at 3 at one time. I'm going to acknowledge this too: the Bills and the Patriots. The Bills have some problems, and I'm going to tell you. I am very hard on the Buffalo Bills. I haven't been all that. I ain't going to say hard on Josh Allen, but I will say this: Josh Allen can only do so much. We got one weapon, and that's Diggs. Guess what? Everyone else knows they have one weapon, and they cover them. Double. They're all over them.
Double, triple coverage. Safety over the top.
I mean, they're covering them every which way, and they'll let you throw to number 2 or number 3. They'll take man on man with that. And so
they'll take those little garbage yards any day. They're not going to let your best guy beat you. We're not going to let the person that everybody knows your best guy. We're not going to let him beat us. Everybody else will get theirs when they get theirs because they know they can't get separation like Stephon.
But my hat's off to the Patriots. They played a heck of a game. They had the right scheme. They won. The Bills got to figure it out. I think Josh had an interception, one interception. Mac Jones played the best game he's ever played in his life in the NFL. By far.
Absolutely.
Bill
Belichick joins the 500 club. He's in the 500 win club as a coach now.
Pretty amazing.
There's contract extension out there too.
There you go. Here's another one. You think
he's doing something right? Even though he's losing, he's doing something right because he's got an extension. Maybe for making the. Of course, he gets an extension for making the program a dynasty. So because they've won so many championships. I guess now they're just giving him, okay, we'll give you time to try to rebuild what started. They got to get
I
him
think
out
it's
the
time.
GMC though. They got to get him
There
out.
you go. There you go. You hit it on the.
Get him out the
Like,
GMC.
yeah, he needs to be concentrating on nothing but coaching.
Yep. Straight coaching.
They're giving him a hard time about since 2012. He's only had 2 players that he's picked from the draft. But let's go back though. He did win a Super Bowl in that time.
Yeah.
Since he did not, I mean, so let's not just
Yeah.
blast him too much.
Right. He did, he did earn that spot, with the work that he did. So,
And the other
but
thing
yeah,
was they were very creative of getting players at the end, middle of their career to get a little bit more out of them. Because
yeah,
his theory was always we keep them just long enough and then we get rid of them. We never
yeah.
keep them too long.
Right before the decline, out of there. Get him out of there.
Commanders and the Giants, man. The Giants surprised me. I picked the Commanders. They were in a parlay I had. The Giants came to play. This is a conference game,
Mm-hmm.
and with a backup quarterback, Tyrod Taylor. I mean, he played a good game. I mean, he didn't make a lot of mistakes. I mean, Sam Howell threw for some yards, had an interception. But I think with Tyrod Taylor, they give. Not saying he's better than Daniel Jones, but he's better in areas where Daniel Jones has a lot of problems getting
Yeah,
sacked.
once the pocket gets away, he has the capability of giving receivers time to get open.
Yes.
Daniel Jones' clock doesn't work that way,
No.
but with Tyrod, at least he can scramble a little bit, and they can then receivers have a little bit more time to work with to get open. So yeah, but that's
And
Tyrod Taylor. He's that
been in.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's that
he's
guy
been in the league
until
for a
playoff
long
time.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
until playoff time
Yeah.
when you run into the super duper defenses, then we be like, okay.
Tyrod Taylor, I would put him in the top 5 backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, him,
He's,
Teddy, Fitzpatrick,
yeah, Fitzpatrick. Yeah, Fitzmagic. Yeah, I mean, he's been in the
yeah,
league a long
Fitzmagic,
time.
yeah.
So now the Falcons squeezing one out over the Bucks. Were you surprised at this?
Surprising to me. I thought the Bucks were going to show up, and win this game. As a matter of fact, you could have flipped the score, and I would have thought that was the way it would have went. But I
Yes.
thought, Tampa Bay would have had the 16 and Atlanta would have had the 13. But they
It was
showed
a
up and
conference
played.
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was conference. It was really a really good game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
So it
And
was. I mean, it was. Baker didn't have a terrible day. He had 1 interception. It wasn't like Baker seems
right.
like he's come a long way since leaving Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh well, with Cleveland and a couple other spots, but
Mm.
it was
But
a very good game.
I'm not gonna tear him up, even though, but Atlanta does have a pretty good defense though. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. They're gonna have like divisional games, they're gonna shine, but against superior offenses, of course, then that's when the separation. It's when the separation comes.
Right. The now this game we watched on the big screen. The Ravens just dismantled the Lions.
Yeah, yeah. The Lions just got Lamar.
Yeah, they got Lamar.
Uh,
They couldn't. Now, Golf had 1 interception. Lamar threw for 357 yards. He had a great day. No interceptions. I think Baltimore ran for about 146 yards in total rushing. They had a good. I mean, Odell Beckham had a couple catches. I think he had 4 or 5. Yeah, my Lord, I mean, it was just at one point, remember we were watching and Detroit didn't even have a first down.
right. It was just stall, and then especially because toward the beginning of the season, they were starting to question the defense of, Baltimore. We was questioning them a little bit, like,
Right.
hey, they'll bend, but they don't break, but they showed up and they gave Detroit one. And if I was Detroit, you take this one and you keep marching because, I got them now after this weekend, kind of got Detroit a little bit higher on my list of teams because they're proving themselves this year, and I do believe that they're going to win their division, and possibly get a playoff spot if they
I mean,
keep their momentum up.
Like Detroit's coach said, hey man, we got punched in the mouth. We'll go back to the drawing board and we'll get it. And that's all you can do. And that's
Yeah.
I mean, there's no it happens. You see what we're I was talking to someone the other day. He was telling me that he was listening, they were talking. There's a lot of parity in the NFL right now. There's a lot of mediocre teams. And there's a couple really good teams. And we're starting to see them pull away. Everyone else is pretty evenly matched. Speaking of, how about the Steelers, who are 4-2? They beat the Rams. I mean, this is another bad pick I had. I really didn't
Yeah,
think the Steelers.
me too.
I mean, every time I keep saying it, I mean, you've talked about this, and we always go, I don't know, Kenny Pickett, Kenny Pickett, Kenny Pickett. But he's not. He ain't going to put up a 500 yards on you. But he threw for
No.
230 yards, and he had no interceptions. He had no TDs.
Right.
And they won 24-17. But Pittsburgh just kind of kept it rolling, and they beat. And Pittsburgh, they scored 14 in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so my hat's off to Pitt, man. They're another one of teams I hate to go against. And like we were talking about, and we've talked about this, there's some games that you just stay away from. You know what I mean? You just
Yeah.
walk,
Yeah.
you just walk away from.
Some
Now,
things are not the right. Stay away from those.
so the Seahawks and the Cardinals. The Cardinals have won one game this year. The way they played Dallas, I was like, oh, I thought they were, about to make a turn around the
Yeah.
bend.
Okay. Something clicked in the locker room. That maybe
And
everything's turning right. And no.
and they're not getting killed. They lost 20-10.
Right.
Their quarterback didn't have any interceptions. Gino had an interception. He didn't throw for a lot, 219. They just
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't. I mean, it just they got a lot. They got a lot of improving. I think at the end of this year, I mean they're 1 wait a minute, they're 1-6. I
Yes.
mean, if things keep going at this rate, they're going to have a number one draft pick, and
Yeah, they're
they're
in the,
going to be
they're in the Caleb Williams
yeah.
sweepstakes.
The Packers and the Broncos. What were you surprised? I was kind of surprised that the Broncos. I guess I guess Sean Payton is just. I mean, Russell Wilson didn't have a super day. Threw for 194 yards, but didn't throw any interceptions.
Right. He's slowly
And,
picking up what's going on. It seems like with each game, he's slowly, ex- gaining control or gaining some type of efficiency in Sean Payton's offense. Or he just maybe simplified the wordplay so that they could generate the plays better or whatever. But however the sauce is made. But you
Jordan
do
Love,
see an improvement. Yeah.
yes. And Jordan Love, I'm not so down on him. A lot of people are down on him. Um, I mean, they've had a few different offensive coordinators. Um, they need to get him in a program that suits him.
Mhm.
And I mean, and that's someone said this, and this is they said there's more bad coaches than there are bad players, and
Mm.
that's something to be said.
Mm.
Not everybody fits in everybody's protocol or whatever that they. But I think Jordan Love in the right situation could be pretty serviceable. I don't know
Yeah.
if he's in the right situation. I think Green Bay's got some other issues there. Um, let's see.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people look at it like, well, he's been in that system for, for a certain amount of years. But yeah, but he's only getting garbage time snaps, practice squad snaps. He's not getting real football time snaps. So,
Right, he is now, but
you got to play the
yeah, he
game
did.
to learn it. He's
Yeah,
getting it now. And, I know everybody's saying that, hey, this guy has sat behind Aaron, for so long. He's been there, what, 3 seasons? This is third or fourth year in the league.
yep,
And, I guess that's the growing pains of following a great quarterback. If you're just
absolutely.
mediocre or mid-tier, then you look terrible. And he's not terrible. He's just, like Tony says, got to find a system that fits him. You would think this would, being in the system, but sometimes it's not. And maybe there's a learning curve there. Maybe he does need to, kind of, do a little bit more to grasp it to make the game easier for him. But yeah, right now I'm not ready to write him off, but at the same time, I understand where everybody else is coming from that's ready to just, cut the cord on.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I get it. I just, like I said, I think you need to give him some find what works for him and stay with it. I mean, if that's your quarterback, because just I mean, getting another quarterback is one of the okay. You get another number one quarterback. I mean, what are we talking then? 2, 3 more years before it happens. I mean,
Right.
we're still not talking overnight. Um, but how about Kansas City? Just keep rolling, baby. Rolling
Yeah.
like an 18-wheeler. Pat Mahomes, 424 yards, 4 TDs. He had 1 interception. The man just is. Um, I mean, every time you want to write them off and say, "Well, man, they're having a little bit of problems," they just keep coming at you. I mean, I don't even know. How about Travis? He had a couple yards, 179 yards. What do you think about that? That's
Yeah, it's pretty cool. National Tight Ends Day. So, it was expected that he was going to get his. But yeah, great day, good day for the Chiefs.
he
Chargers,
one, two. He threw to
Chargers.
10 different receivers. The Chargers have so much. I want Joshua Palmer. I want him to go to the Bills. He's a stud. Their wide receiver. He's
Yeah,
a stud.
yeah.
And Kareem Allen. I mean, they got some talent over there. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus.
On paper, this team is supposed to be like the third or fourth team in the AFC on the rankings, you know, on paper
Yeah, they're two.
with the talent
Yeah, they're
that they
two
have.
and four.
So, that being said, coaching.
Lou. Like I said, it's just, and I think if they
Coaching.
have another bad year, absolutely, I'll coach it. I think if they have another bad year, I think you got to come in and go, okay,
Okay, you're supposed to be a defensive coach, yet you have your defense ranks last or next to last in the league and everything. That's supposed to be your specialty. It's not working out very well. Plus, offense, it's not so much the offense, it's the management of the game and, it's head coaching things. And some of these guys, although they're brilliant as coordinators, they're not ready for the management and the stress. And, there's a lot of things that come with being a head coach. And it takes you to be a general, you have to be a manager or general manager of people. And a lot of people are
correct,
not ready for that part of it. Their X's and
correct,
O's, they got that down packed, but it's everything else that's included in that. That's what makes it stressful and struggle and things get stagnant and then your ego gets involved and now now your job's on the line. Now you got more pressure to come up with something, out of the blue to save your job. So I get it, but
absolutely, man. And I mean, here's another one that I took. I thought the Dolphins were going to have the upset of the day. They did not.
no.
Um, they showed that you can. I mean, Tyreek Hill is a game changer. There's no
Mhm.
doubt. But you learned yesterday, he's one man, just like Josh Allen is one man.
Yeah.
So end of the day, it was going into the half, it was 17-10, pretty close. Then it was 17-24, and then it was 17-31. I mean, this was a good game, but definitely put me in perspective on Philly. Um,
Mhm.
Philly's, you know, Jalen Hurts is a stud. Their defense is very good. They
Oh
got a
yes,
great
defense outstanding.
AJ Brown is a stud on wide receiver. Um, Dallas is a great wide receiver. I mean, he's got a lot of weapons, man. I mean, he can they're going to be tough to beat, man. They're steadily winning, and Dallas is going to
Listen,
have to really keep the pace up. They better not lose another one. I mean,
no,
I because I can see the Eagles going 14-3. Um, I'm sure there might be another one on a hiccup, providing no injuries. Um,
they need to speed up in the first half. They if they can get AJ Brown active early, they'll rack up a lot of numbers on these teams. If they get them, they got to get it to them early. I've noticed that, they start picking up the rhythm during toward the end of the game. If they can get him going like that in the first quarter, the first half of the game, man,
right.
they're going to be a force to reckon with.
Yeah, they look good. They look like I said. I put them in San Fran. I don't even know who's won, and I put those two as top two. However you want
Mm-hmm.
to put them in the class. Um, they play totally different kind of football. Um, so I'm not going to be surprised if I see San Francisco and the Eagles in the NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I
I
got it.
agree.
I mean, yeah, I don't see anyone as of right now. Week 7 or going into I'm sorry, we're going into week 8. We're at the halfway point, basically. Man, it's hard to believe we're already at almost the halfway point, and
Yeah.
it seemed like we were talking like, man, when football starts, and then here it goes. We're already halfway in it. Loving every minute of it. I want to thank everyone for tuning in every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Tony G, Big Lou. Want to thank everyone at KM Radio. Go to kham.com. Press play. 24 hours of great programming. Tony G, Big Lou come on 8 o'clock every Tuesday night. All right, we'll be back with making some money right here on KM Radio, where we go ham.
And
KM Radio, it's your boy Tony G and Big Lou, the sports book every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Here to make some money, guys. We're going to go over our bets this week. And like I said, I can't pinpoint this enough to you. Our theory is you find a couple games that you want to bet on and concentrate it. It's hard to be all over the board.
right.
I mean, you can bet on all the games if you want. Whatever you want to do, you could do. But I'm saying if you're really trying to pinpoint and make money, because there's a lot of garbage games. And when I mean garbage games, just too hard to figure out. And two bottom feeders fighting. I mean, you're looking for any advantage that you may have. All right. The game one, here we go. It's going to be Thursday night game. It's my Bills playing Tampa Bay.
Hmm.
The spread's 8.5. I think the
Yes.
Bills bounce back. I think the Bills bounce back and they have a good game. I just don't know if they can beat the spread.
Right.
What's your faith in the Bucks keeping it close?
Not that good, not that good on the road. Not that good on the road. They're coming off a devastating loss from Atlanta, but that's a division rivalry. So it's expected because, they know each other. But, the way up, even though weather's not a factor just yet, It's still Buffalo, different, conditions, and you got Buffalo home crowd. So
got
I
to
and the Bills are a better team. The Bills are a better team, and I don't think that although Tampa Bay does have a pretty good defense, I don't think that they're going to be able to handle Buffalo. So I'm gonna take Buffalo on this one too.
I like Buffalo too. I'm not, like I said, this is something I don't like to do, but I wouldn't bet on this game because I am a Buffalo Bills fan. But
Right.
I do like Buff and it. New England and Miami Dolphins. Can the New England Patriots can they pull out another one?
With the Dolphins at home and Mike McDaniel's offense, but Bills got the defense playing pretty good though. But it was
He's got
also a
the
home game, and they had to take it down to the wire as well. But it's I don't think that New England has enough offensive firepower to come back on the road, and that's what he's going to have to do when they go to Miami. He's going to have to come back because they have nothing for Tyreek Hill.
I agree. There was a point where so on this one, there's a couple factors. One is that it is a conference game. These two teams know each other very well. And the only chance that New England has is keeping it close,
Mm-hmm.
just like they did with Buffalo. Miami jumps out 20 points on them with two quick scores, three quick scores,
Done,
it's over.
done deal.
Um, I like Miami. I'm not a fan of the spread, but I like Miami. The spread could go down. Could be a bunch of money put on New England. It could come down. But I do like Miami. But Bill's going to give him some fits. I'm confident of that.
Of
Um,
course. Of course.
he's going to give him there because they're gonna triple team Tyreek, similar to
Yeah.
how they played him Sunday night, and try to make him a non-factor. Um, it's hard to not make him a non-factor but it can be done. They have
Yeah.
lost,
Yeah.
and so that being said, and they're going to have to get to Tua. Um,
Yeah.
but I do
Gonna have to get
I
it
like
to it.
now they can get to Tua and rattle him up. I mean it changes. But I think
Any word
all in
on
all,
Von Miller? Any word on when
yeah.
Von
What?
Miller is he playing? Is there any word on Von Miller and his status?
I don't have any. I mean, I thought he's been dressed. I didn't see him play yesterday. If I missed it, I wasn't really trying to watch the game. Me and you, it was on the
Yeah,
small
we was
screen, and we were
focusing on
looking.
they
Yeah,
had Baltimore on the big screen. So, but
yeah.
yeah,
I tell you,
I'll do some research. I'll do some research and then I will I will get with you on that info and for the rest of the for the rest of the sportsbook army, I will have a quick update for you guys.
I'll tell you what I'm doing right here. Let me see. Defense. I'm going down. I'm going down. If he played, he didn't make any tackles, which I find that
Wow.
hard to believe.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'll take
trying
that
to
as
hard to
yeah.
process Von
He's
Miller
been
not having any
dressed.
tackles.
Yeah, it's he's been dressed.
Mm,
Again, if I was running the team, I would try to win as many as I could without him to keep
mm-hmm.
him as healthy as possible. Um, but
And that may be
yeah,
the general idea. Try to keep him out as long as they possibly can, work him back in slowly. So by the time the playoffs come around, he'll be back into, regular football playing mode.
yeah, I definitely agree. Um, next game is the Rams and the Cowboys. Um, the
Wow.
Rams are plus 6.5. The Rams haven't been playing too terrible. I think the Cowboys, if the Cowboys come in and play good football, I think the Cowboys all day. But if they, I mean, this is you're playing against a coach that knows how to capitalize on errors. And so
Mm-hmm.
when I say that about the Cowboys, they have a tendency a lot of penalties, and Dak throws interceptions. Um, and I think against the Rams,
They
the
give away
Cowboys going to be,
points.
yep. But Cowboys provided not doing all that. Um, I think, uh, I think you, I think you got to go. I think you got to go with the Cowboys. Um,
Yeah,
I think by
absolutely.
hands down. With the
Yeah,
Cowboys
hands
playing at
down.
home.
Yeah, Cowboys
Next
playing
game,
home.
Cowboys playing at home. I just don't see the Rams.
I don't. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Tony. I don't see the Rams. I don't see the Rams losing. I mean, I don't see the Rams winning. In Jerry's world. But if, and I'm saying if, y'all, if the Rams do manage to win, I think it's going to be between. No, it's going to be less than a 10-point win, anywhere between 3 to 6 points, field goal or two. None under 10, definitely under 10 points if they were somehow able to pull off the victory. But I think Dallas is gonna be dialed in. I think they're gonna take this one.
Yeah, I like Dallas minus 6.5. I even like the over 45.5. Yeah, I got to go with the Cowboys on this one. Uh, Next game is the Jets and New York Giants. Now the Jets, you got the New York Giants coming off a win. Um, they got a They got a backup quarterback. The Jets are trying to make a move. Um, their head coach is very arrogant. He's a very arrogant guy. He has a lot of
Yeah.
confidence. A lot of confidence. And the Giants, like I said, they looked good last week.
Mhm.
I just don't think it was. I like the Jets going into New York. This is a big game. This is New York Jets against the New York Giants. This is a
Yeah,
big
so it's
rivalry.
basically a home. It's basically a home game for both teams, sharing the same
Basically,
stadium. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So I like the Jets minus 3. Um,
I agree on that. I can go with you on that one.
and I like the over at 36.5 because I think they could score some points. Um, but if Saquon Barkley could get going, I mean, there's some ifs, there's some factors in it. If he can get going early and they can establish that run, which is so pivotal. Um, and it's funny because it's so pivotal, and they're kind of discounting running backs and running back. I mean, it's like you look at all the top teams when they're establishing that run, it just takes all that pressure off of takes all the pressure off the quarterback. You know what I mean? It just now the defense can't just tee off on one or two receivers. Um,
Right.
but I like the Jets. Um, Boom.
Absolutely.
Next game is it's all your people. New Orleans Saints and Indianapolis Colts. What's your thoughts? Saints traveling.
Saints traveling. Indianapolis. Both teams are 3-4. Uh, Indy's got the momentum right now, but I think the Saints defense can bring Gardner Minshew back down to earth. It's just can they score on the road in Lucas Oil Stadium? Crowd's going to be crazy. So can Derek Carr pull it off? He has the weapons. My concern is can they come up with some type of scheme, to get in the end zone and the red zone? The Saints have to recreate their offensive identity. Sean Payton plays are not working.
Right,
It's time to
right.
get
That's
some
true.
off. And I'm not going to so much put it on. Of course, quarterback play's got to be better. Everybody's got to be better. But I put what's going on with the Saints on coaching, and they've got to get some type of offensive identity because everyone knows what they're going to do. They're going to sneak it with Taysom Hill. They're going to dump it to Kamara in the flat. You know, so as long as they as long as they put coverage on Olavi and Michael Thompson, they're pretty much good.
Right. So you
So
think the Saints could pull it?
that's my only thing is some type of offensive creativity.
So do you like the Saints with +1 or do you like the Colts -1?
Mm. Like you,
This is a stay away from game to me.
yeah, because I bet on my team last Sunday and voila. Or last Thursday rather. Voila. So staying away from this one, y'all. I'm gonna have to let y'all, I'm gonna let whatever vibe or mojo you got going on, if you feels good, go for it. Lou's gonna back out of this.
The next game is Houston Texans and Carolina Panthers.
Battle of the number one or battle of the brand news franchise changers.
Houston's playing better though.
Yes, Houston's playing. It seems like everything is set in Houston. All they got to do now is get some veteran players in there, that can get them some dubs. Because the formula is set, they have their quarterback, they have their culture. Now they need talent.
Right, right. I mean, Carolina. I mean, at the rate they're going, they they're in line for the number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're
Which
0
they'll
and
probably
6.
trade off because they have their quarterback. So, but you can
They can get
always use your line. You can always use that pick to do something. But I'm pretty sure they're probably going to dump it.
yeah. Um, I would think that's what they're going to do. I mean, or get some more. I mean, the Texans are 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're 500. I mean, I'm not saying they're going anywhere, but I'm saying I've watched them play. They're pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah.
I like Houston. Beating Carolina Panthers. That's only 3-point deal. I like Houston. Philadelphia and Washington. This is one of those games that you automatically say Philly.
Philly. No question.
Automatically. No question. But here lately, there's been a lot of
It's a different
questions.
Commanders team on home turf.
Right. But they look so last week they looked so bad. You know what I mean? Against the Giants. And it's just like, I mean, you would look at this game as a lock. And I'm
Yeah.
looking at it as a lock. But man, this year, guys, the NFL has been crazy with spreads.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a tough go. But I mean, obviously, I like Philadelphia -6.5.
Mm-hmm.
I may not like him at 10.5, but I definitely like him at 6.5. The over's 43.5. I like the over, but I like Philly. I think Philly's going to come in and even though this is a conference game, because Washington looked bad last week, um, and I think Philly's going to come in and spank them, and Philly's going to march on to 7-1. So I like Philadelphia. Next one, here's another tough one: Jaguars, Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers are at home; they're +2.5. Jackson Jaguars have a better team, but Pittsburgh's got a winning record also.
Mm-hmm.
This is another one of those games that I don't like to gamble on. I mean, I would say, you know what I'm
It's
saying?
like
Because
they're
this,
almost evenly matched. Even
yes,
though Jacksonville has the better team. I'm not sure if Jalen Ramsey's coming back, but I think that the linebacker that's out is coming back.
okay.
I know they had two players that's out. One of them is kind of questionable, and the other one, I don't think Jalen's coming back. I think he's got like maybe 3 more weeks or so.
And Pitt
But
is,
you can't
let me
count
see.
Pittsburgh out, Mike Tomlin's defense, and Kenny Pickett playing just good enough. They could squeeze a win out of that.
Jacksonville's 5-2. Pittsburgh's 4-2. I know Pittsburgh would love to win. because they would put them still stay in the hunt.
Mhm.
But I got to go with Jacksonville. I think this
Okay.
is where Jacksonville makes their step and puts Pitt back in line. But it's going to be a good game. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
What about the Falcons and Tennessee?
Oh man.
-2.
Oh, bro. Falcons, Tennessee. Falcons 4-3. Tennessee Titans 2-4, but Tennessee's at home. But I like Atlanta's momentum, but it's hard for me to pick against Tennessee at home, despite what the record says.
Right. On this one, I'm going to go with the stats, and I'm going to go
Yeah,
with the Falcons -2.
yeah.
Um, the over's 37.5. That's an interesting. Um, next game is Cleveland and Seattle. Who you like?
Both teams are 4-2. Uh, Cleveland's defense is playing lights out. I got to give them that. That defense is tearing through the league. Uh, you know, just ask 49ers. Uh, Seahawks, though, they're at home, 4-2. Geno's kind of come back down to earth a little bit. And I know that the Browns can bring a defense that's gonna, keep his numbers down. But with Pete Carroll behind the helm and they're at home, I think the Seahawks can get this one. I think their defense can match up better with Cleveland's offense than the other way around. So that with that dynamic, it makes it a close game for me. But I think Seattle can pull it off with the 13th man in that dome, and I don't think PJ Walker's ready for that.
I got to agree with you 100%. I like Seattle at home. Um, it's going to be a good game, but I think Seattle's a little bit much for for Cleveland. Even though Cleveland's got a very good team. Um, I got to go with Seattle at home. And like I tell you guys the same thing. These are our picks right now. Come Friday, they could change. Come Saturday, they can change because there's always injured reserve. There's always injury posted, this and that. So this is where we're leaning towards. And so then on game day, we pick a couple games and go from there. Um, and that's the way to keep it simple and keep the money rolling. Baltimore against Arizona Cardinals. Now, Arizona is bad. They beat
Mm-hmm.
the Cowboys, thought they were looking better. Baltimore's -8.5. But see, this is like one of those trap games. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Where Arizona comes to play and either they win or because they'll cover the spread. I mean, that's my thing. That's my thing with a lot this year is like I said, the spread has been it giveth and it taketh. And it
Right.
has definitely taketh. Um, I think Baltimore should win this game, no problem. Arizona is playing at home,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I got to go with the Ravens. I don't know. I mean, do you see anything in the Cardinals?
No, I don't see anything in the Cardinals that's going to convince me that they're going to pull off the victory here. So if they do, it would be a shock. It would be it
And
would be
they did beat.
terribly
I mean,
shock to me.
I mean, they came at Dallas
Right.
like they
But
stole something.
Dallas underestimated the team they were going to play. They
I
didn't
think
think
that
that
helped.
they didn't think Arizona was going to show up and play. They thought they were just going to go to Arizona and just cakewalk through like practice and leave. Didn't turn out that way. They're going to show up and play. But I don't think that the Cardinals, especially with the way the Ravens defense played last week and the way that, Lamar Jackson did his thing, I don't think that the Cardinals defense can handle Lamar.
No, I agree with you there. That's why I liked the Ravens. And I think you're 100% when it came to the Dallas game. I think Dallas underestimated they came, and then Dallas had a lot of penalties, just a lot of mistakes, and it cost them. But I like Baltimore's going to come in with a more humble coming in. Harbaugh's going to have them ready to play. Next game is Kansas City and Denver Broncos. Now, this is a big rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City is -8. Denver's +8, obviously. They're playing in Denver, high altitude. I mean, you think Denver has a shot here?
No shot. I don't think Denver have a shot because I think Kansas City. I think Kansas City. A lot of people are thinking that they're playing mediocre. I think they're just coasting right now. I think they're just coasting. They're doing just enough to win, and I think they're gonna, flip a switch come playoff time. They know the Broncos well. They know the Broncos can't do anything. They know Russ can't do anything with a ferocious pass rush attack. And just like Arizona, they're trying to get into the sweepstakes. For what, try to get one of those good quarterbacks. But yeah, Chiefs all the way. Chiefs all the way on this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. Chiefs -8. Chiefs -8. I'm writing everything down as we go. The over's 46. I'm not big into the into the over. But I do like the Chiefs. Next game is the Bears and the Chargers. Now the Bears are +8.5. Going to play the Chargers. So here's the question. Can the Bears play good enough to cover that spread? Or can they use the 8.5 points to their favor to win? Can the Chargers cover the spread?
That's a good question. Good question, Tony, because Justin Fields is one of those anomaly like quarterbacks that's, very, very unpredictable. He might run, he might throw it.
He's out though.
He's out. And the
Yeah, he didn't
backup
play.
is playing.
Yep. I don't know about this week. I got to look. I thought he was out for this week too.
Yeah, I checked the injury report, but their backup's playing. Can the defense of the San Diego Chargers stop that offense without their top lead, not without their top quarterback? I don't know. This is a challenging one for me because I have no confidence in what the Chargers got going on with their current coaching staff.
And I don't have any I think the Chargers at home is a win. I don't know if they can cover. I don't think that they can cover I don't know about the 8.5. Now they'll probably go in there and smoke
Justin will show
Chicago.
up. Justin Fields will show up.
Yeah. So, like I said, the Chargers minus the 8.5. Last game, we got a few minutes left, is the Raiders and the Detroit Lions. Detroit is -8. Going off I think Detroit bounces back this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially at home.
I think they handle the Raiders. And they handle the Raiders. I like I said, the Raiders. They ain't like the Raiders. Not that they don't have talent, but they're just in disarray right now.
Yeah,
and this is one of the games. Kansas City's one of those games. Even though Kansas City and Denver should be tight, I feel like Kansas City should be able to cover the spread. And Detroit Lions should cover the spread, not a problem. 8 points is a lot. These are professionals. I get all that, yada, 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 yada. But I think Kansas City and Detroit come out and they handle business. I like them in a 2-team parlay. Kansas City and Detroit.
Okay.
That's a nice two-team parlay. But I'm expecting Detroit to bounce back. Because I think Detroit. I think there we go into our tier system. I think Detroit is a higher tier than the Raiders are, and that's just how it will fall. But like I said, guys, look over all your stuff on Sunday morning, like me and Big Lou do, and you make your bets from there, and then watch all your injured reserve list. And like I said, it's a great time to be a sports bettor. They got all the information on the internet. Yeah, I mean, it ain't no phone calls being made. You just look it up on the internet. All right, guys, I want to thank everyone. Every Tuesday night, Big Lou and Tony G are on the Sportsbook. Hit us up on Facebook, on Sportsbook. Hit us up on KM Radio, Facebook, whichever one you want to hit us up. Hit us up, leave us a message, say hello. If you got any events that you want announced, put it in about DM us and we'll go from there. All right, Lou, I want to thank you and everybody from KM Radio. Our guy Eli on the board. Sportsbook every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, right here on KM Radio, where we go ham.
Hell.